उस टाइम पर डिसीज्ड के साथ एक और लड़की थी और उसके मुताबिक ये जो घटना घटी है उस टाइम पर वो थी और उसको कोई इंजरी नहीं हुई थी और वो उठकर वहाँ से चली गई थी।
पुलिस ऑफिसर जिन्होंने जो पीसीआर की वैन्स को कॉल हुए उन्होंने रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया। वो पुलिस अफसर जिन्होंने एफआईआर सिर्फ एक आरोपी के खिलाफ दर्ज की। वो पुलिस अफसर जिन्होंने कमजोर धाराओं में एफआईआर दर्ज की कि जो आरोपी हैं वो बच्चा है।
ये बहुत दुर्भाग्यशील दुर्घटना है और मैं चाहता हूँ कि पूरी दिल्ली के पूरे देश में कभी ऐसी किसी बच्ची के साथ नहीं होना चाहिए था और जो भी आरोपी हैं उनको कड़क से कड़क सज़ा होनी चाहिए। एक बच्ची के साथ इस तरीके की दुर्घटना हुई है, एक बच्चे ने अपनी जान गंवाई है, उसके बावजूद आप इस तरीके की राजनीति करना चाहते हैं।
Namaste, Jai Hind and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. Who are we as a nation, ladies and gentlemen? Are we a nation that cares or are we a nation that just doesn't care? Are we a nation that cares for everyone, cares for society, cares for humanity? Or are we a nation who just care for ourselves? Are we so selfish? Are we so filled with apathy? Doesn't this entire case that happened with 23-year-old Anjali reek of apathy? Apathy at all levels. Let's take, for example, the 23-year-old was with a friend. Did that friend want to save Anjali's life? Or did she look at self-preservation and did she run away? She ran away at that moment. She may have been scared, but she kept quiet for more than 48 hours. Doesn't that reek of apathy? Those brutes inside the Baleno who knew that there is something stuck on their car and they've hit someone. They didn't get out of the car. They tried to run away and they dragged her on for 12 kilometers and then they thought they'll just dump the body there and get away with it. Don't they reek of apathy? The passers-by, 12 kilometers, nobody saw. On New Year's Day, when the entire city is out, reveling and there is traffic on the streets. The 3 PCR vans, they didn't see. Or did they just not care? Those calls that were made to the PCR, the person who was supposed to man that call or should have attended that call, the personnel, did they think it's just another prank call? Thoda yaar, kaun uthayega? Doesn't that reek of apathy? The cops who wrote the FIR knowing fully well that there are 5 people involved, 4 in the car, one to whom the car belonged but named only one person. Doesn't that reek of apathy? Did somebody influential try and tell the cops go slow? And doesn't that reek of apathy saying that I'd rather save whom I know and I don't care for the life of a 23-year-old? Who are we as India, ladies and gentlemen? And doesn't this entire saga that unfolded on the first day of 2023 reek of apathy? And that too, ladies and gentlemen, a decade after Nirbhaya. A decade after Nirbhaya, are we still a nation that just doesn't care? A nation that will shirk their own responsibility towards humanity and society at the drop of a hat and just talk about self-preservation? How are we going to enter our Amrit Kal this way, ladies and gentlemen? How are we to? Have a look at these pictures. The entire sequence is caught on camera. But these CCTV cameras are also personal CCTV cameras that are home installed CCTV cameras. So a system that doesn't care about our security. And look at the streets. Are they lit or are they dimly lit? Again a system that doesn't care. Again apathy. But what does it show? The sequence of events, 1:17 a.m. These are the 2 girls, Anjali and Nidhi, her friend, both of them having an altercation outside a hotel room where they were since 8:30 p.m. They had gotten in, presented their ID cards, booked a room. They had an altercation inside a room. They are coming out. They are about to get into that scooty behind this green one. That's the black scooty that is there. and then as they're about to get on it, the two of them are having an altercation. The girl in the pink sweater is Anjali, the girl who died. The one in the red sweater is Nidhi, the girl, the friend who ran away, who went away. Then, what happens next? 1st of Jan at 1:31 a.m., both of them are seen leaving. Now, eventually, in this case, it's interesting that it is Nidhi who's actually driving the scooty first when they take off, and she's riding pillion, that's Anjali. But in the next picture, it is very interesting. After 1:30, the next picture are at 2:05. So wherever they were was at least half an hour away from their place of residence or where they were heading to. And in this case, amidst the light of the CCTV camera catching the scooty lights, you would see that Nidhi is now riding pillion and it's Anjali who is actually riding the scooty. 40 seconds after they turn from this point here in Sultanpuri, a narrow street, they turn in. 45 seconds later comes this car. That's the grey Baleno, inside which are the culprits. And as it passes, see what happens. There is dust as if something's being dragged under this car on a tar road. And there is one slipper that falls off here and another one at the top of the screen there. Two pieces of footwear fall off. But the car is actually trying to speed away. And it's dragging. 3:34 a.m. This is, you see, 90 minutes plus. 90 minutes later, this car is taking a U-turn here with its windows up. It's all dark, but you see a body still being dragged by this car, ladies and gentlemen. All of you who are viewers of this show here on CNN News 18 have either sat inside a car or know how to drive a four-wheeler. You will know that the moment there is something dragging the vehicle, you will feel it. If you can feel a flat tire, you're saying these brutes didn't feel the weight of a body, a human being dragged, and in a Baleno. It's not a big SUV or a big monster truck. It's a Baleno. It's a small car with very little ground clearance. Anjali's body would have been obstructing the path of that vehicle all those 12 kilometers, yet these brutes did nothing about it. Can they get away by saying we were high, music was high, windows were high? Or would you want them to get the strictest of punishment because they didn't care? They knew and they didn't care. Listen in to the friend who we spoke to here at News 18 India. She is also guilty of not caring. But this is what she said.
एकदम वो लड़के आए आगे से, सामने की टक्कर थी, वो आए सामने से और हम भी सामने से आ रहे थे. मैं साइड गिर गई उल्टी साइड और वो सामने बिल्कुल अंदर फंस गई, कनेक्टर साइड बिल्कुल सीधे की साइड फंस गई. वो फंसने के बाद वो चीख भी रही है कि मुझे बचाओ, निकालो. तो उसने बोला कि मैं बचाओ. उन्होंने उसको नहीं निकाला. उन्होंने जानबूझ के, उनको पता था कि लड़की उनकी गाड़ी के नीचे है.
और आप उसको अकेले छोड़ के चले गई थी वहां पर जब एक्सीडेंट हुआ, वो बलेनो गाड़ी से?
उसको गाड़ी ले गई थी खींचकर.
गाड़ी खींच के ले गई थी. तो आपने पीसीआर को कभी कॉल नहीं की, पुलिस को नहीं बताया आपने?
क्योंकि मेरा उस दौरान फोन भी टूट गया था. फोन टूटने पर मैं बहुत होपलेस हो गई थी. मेरे को जो ठीक लगा अपने घर जाना. अगर वो हादसा मेरे साथ होता, वो होती, वो भी यही करती, वो अपने घर जाती.
मतलब वो लड़के अंजलि को वहीं पर मिले हैं पांचों?
नहीं, वो लड़के तो जानते ही नहीं थे, ना अंजलि को ना मुझे.
नहीं जानते थे. और आपको पुलिस
ने अपनी गाड़ी के ब्लैक शीशे कर रखे थे. उन लड़कों ने अपनी गाड़ी के ब्लैक शीशे कर रखे थे. कुछ लगा रखा था, गाड़ी मतलब काले कर रखे थे. उन्होंने कुछ लगा रखा था, चिपकू. तो उन लड़कों की हमें शकल मेरे को नहीं दिखी शकल. वो तो अंजलि तो नीचे ही फंस गई थी. नीचे से ही वो चिल्ला रही थी कि मुझे बचाओ, मुझे बचाओ.
आप ये बताइए, ये कितने बजे का वाकया है जब ये पूरा एक्सीडेंट हुआ था? और आपने घसीट के ले गए उसको कि आपने बचाने, क्या आपने रोका, कुछ बोला, क्या हुआ था वो घटना का फिर से बताइए एक बार.
वो मेरे ऊपर ही चढ़ाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे वो लड़के. ये रात को 2 बजे हम वहां से निकले हैं. ये 2-3 के बीच ऐसा कुछ हुआ है. 2-3 के बीच ऐसा कुछ हुआ है. वो गाड़ी ने बिल्कुल हमें ठोक दिया. हमने बचाव भी करा उस गाड़ी में.
दिल्ली पुलिस कैसे पहुंची आप तक?
उन्होंने मुझे मेरे घर पे आ गए थे बस.
For 2 whole days she didn't step up. and she didn't come out and recount what happened. It's the cops who knocked at her door. So questions would have to be asked about her. She saw her friend being dragged away. She saw her friend being screaming, but she didn't say anything. But she said that मैं रोकती तो मुझे ऊपर चढ़ाने आते वो लड़के. She said I couldn't make out who they were, but she knew that they were boys inside the car. What transpired there is not just a hit and run. There seems to be more. And again, it comes back to those involved who didn't care about a human life. Some glaring questions before us, ladies and gentlemen, for cops and also for society at large. Let's try and look at it. Why did 3 PCR calls go unanswered? The first question that comes to mind. If 3 PCR vans crossed the car, why wasn't it stopped? This car was breaking a lot of rules, along with dragging a human body, but it was not stopped on New Year's Day. What were the cops doing and what are these PCR vans doing? Why did it take 48 hours to get to the main eyewitness for the cops? Were the cops initially asked to go slow? And if so, who asked them? Who asked them to water down the FIR? Who is this person? And whoever is this person, should that person not be also censored, shamed, named, shamed, and also put together and slapped with cases for trying to abet a crime? Where are the government CCTV and street lights that were to ensure security of the people of Delhi? बहुत वादे किए 2012 से लेकर आज तक, क्या हुआ? And why did the eyewitness and those passing by not raise an alarm? वो चिल्ला रही थी, she tells News 18 India, but तुमने क्या किया? She says nothing. Why did the friend stay silent for 48 hours? Has this case exposed India's apathy yet again? And does this crime merit capital punishment, or will these brutes, like many others, just get away as the cases drags on and this case also fades from public memory, and eventually will they get away, ladies and gentlemen? Anjali betrayed by apathy is the question that we ask. Let's go across to our guest straight away. Dr. Vikram Singh, former IPS, Abha Singh, lawyer, Ishkaran Bhandari, lawyer, and also Nigat Abbas with us. Namaste, Jai Hind, and thank you very, very much. Your first thoughts, Ishkaran Bhandari, what should be done?
My first thought is God save everybody from friends like this. Of course, what the people in the car did, I'll come to that. But what I'm hearing, 48 hours after the accident, even after reaching home, she does not call the police or her friend's family is shocking to me, and I'm very sure police will investigate, because this is not normal course of action. Forget law. If your friend has had an accident, you go home, even if your phone was broken, that also needs to be checked whether the phone was broken or not. But I find that very surprising, and this is the first time I've heard this. So this is extremely shocking. But let's come to the other aspect of it. I have always maintained people who drink and drive need to be booked under 304 Part 2. Very often they get booked under 304 Part A, 304A, in which you have only 2 years sentence. But Salman Khan onwards, even this Nanda case which happened on Delhi BMW roads, police now books these people under stringent sections of law, which is what they do all over the world, and that is what has to be done in this country. What is also shocking is, how could a body be dragged for so long without any PCR van stopping it? Delhi, every second corner there is a checkpost. So that is definitely a failure of law and order, especially because it's 31st December, which is a very sensitive time. There is a possibility of terror attack. They know that crime shoots up. They know people are drinking in parties in the night. So Delhi generally is a very, very sensitive zone on New Year's Eve, which cannot be ignored. Lastly, why these people didn't stop? If you have an accident, you stop. Accident can happen with anybody if they didn't know each other, because initially there was also this question mark, was it a case of sexual assault or not, which the post-mortem has to say, or the friend is saying that it was not a case of people knowing each other. So why didn't they stop? Why has humanity died? If you unfortunately have an accident, you stop. Her life would have been saved. They wouldn't have faced the law with this magnitude. So there are a lot of societal issues along with law and order issues in this case.
There are. Vikram Singh ji, my question is, गाड़ी में 4 लोग थे, 5वें की गाड़ी थी, FIR में 1 का नाम, and weaker section. What would you do to such an officer?
Anandji suspend all the personnel in the police station at that point of time, and those who were the first responders, they need to be suspended immediately. That has not been done. And this way, we will do it only after the inquiry is over. This is not something known as prima facie. Prima facie, they seem to be guilty of misconduct and also loose and knee-jerk reaction. Look at the pearls of wisdom coming out from the first statement of the police that it is not a sexual assault. Even before the post-mortem is complete, you say that it is a death by accident and that the driver and everybody was drunk. You are speaking like a defense lawyer, not like a professional police officer. You're only supposed to state matter of facts. 22 calls by Deepak Dahiya, not a single response. All those who were supposed to receive the calls and did not react need to be placed under suspension also. And if there is negligence that is proved in 48 hours, they should be dismissed from service. Delhi demands a price, the nation demands a price. And this needs to be, you have to be cruel to be kind under these circumstances, because this way that you have something like a multinational corporate, the police department is different, where the rewards and punishments go simultaneously and are instantaneous. And if it is not instantaneous, the signal goes that everything is wishy-washy. The serial faults that the police investigation and the response was, I could go on and the entire show would be devoted to the flaws committed by the police department. We will not go into that. But the apathy, the indifference and the callousness displayed is indeed unimaginable, and it's a tragedy. The friend, as you said, the friend in fact is very confident, articulate, reasonably educated, and to say that she was hopeless. If you're not hopeless to realize what has happened, go home. Everybody in the family has a mobile phone, multiple phone calls, the neighbors have phones, your friends have phones. You could have taken recourse to the use of force, but not to inform the police, not to disclose anything to your parents, not to disclose anything about the horrific incidents. Also, as you very rightly mentioned, requires a much, much deeper probe. Like you, I'm also a little concerned, but I'll reserve my comments till the investigation comes out with the true facts.
Well, Abha Singh, these are not 14, 15-year-old juvenile. They are people who have the right to vote, the right to get married, the right to drive a car, the right to get employed, the right to shape the destiny of our country. And they think that it is okay to not talk about a friend being dragged away. And those who are inside the car are also valid license holders, they are also not juvenile. What kind of a brute would think कि चलो यार खींचती है खींचने दो, मरती है मरने दो, चिल्ला रही है चिल्लाने दो, मुझे मेरा जश्न मनाना है, म्यूजिक हाई बज रहा है तो मेरे को आवाज नहीं आई. आप क्या कह रहे हो? आपकी गाड़ी में आप बैठते हैं आबाजी. Do you not know that there is something wrong in the car if something is dragging, pulling it?
For sure, Anand, for sure. In fact, when you're talking of rights, my first issue is we have forgotten what are our duties. We have forgotten Article 15A that you have certain duties towards the Constitution, you have certain duties towards the country. Now, when we talk of apathy, I agree with you with apathy, but bigger than that is 154 CRPC, which says as a good citizen, if you see a crime which is happening, it is your duty to go to the nearest police station and lodge a complaint. I would like to ask this girl, was it not your duty to go to a police station, take your parents and go to the police station? I would also charge her under 34, that 34 of the IPC, which says when an act is done by several persons for furtherance of a common intention, because the intention was there, those people who were there in the car. If an accident happened, why not like a good Samaritan? They took this girl to the hospital, so they would have not been, they would have gone off easily. But here, not taking her to the police station, not taking her to the hospital, but running away makes them bigger guilty of the offence. So not only the friend, but the people inside have to be booked for serious charges. Coming to the police, yes, it's very serious. You have around 5,000 people in PCR vans, more than 800 PCR vans. But how come nobody reported? How come nobody responded? That is a big issue, and that is where the police responsibility comes. Also of the local police station, what about your beat policing? Every area is marked, there are beat constables, they are supposed to see their area. So what were they doing when you knew it was the new year? So it is
not only friend, the people who were driving, but everybody is responsible. And yes, nobody saw, nobody complained. It shows of apathy, but more than apathy, it is violation of your duty as a citizen. It is violation of the CRPC, which says it is a duty to go to the police station and tell if you have seen a crime which is happening. So I think everybody is kept quiet because people feel that, oh, this friend particularly. But I would still say that this young girl got scared. Everybody would have told her, "Arey, police ke chakkar mein mat pado, problem ho jayegi tumhe." You know how the trial goes on. This girl would be scared that I'll be a witness and mujhe trial mein jana hoga, I'll be threatened. And we know how it happens, how witnesses are bummed off, how these witnesses are bullied, blackmailed. So maybe this young girl, she knew the way the system runs in this country. She did not have the courage to come forward and lodge a complaint. But then I cannot absolve the cops because they should have been there on the ground. The PCR van should have reached, and the people who were driving, they are the biggest criminals, I would say, on earth, that you first hit a girl and then you don't take her to the police station. So these are the issues. I still sympathize with the friend because the way the system is, she would not have the courage to go to the police station. She would have not the courage. People would have told her, don't become a witness because we don't have a witness protection program per se in this country.
But the fact is that this girl was a friend and this girl died. At that point in time, she may have been scared. But the next day, when it was plastered all across the papers, when it was running everywhere that this young girl has died, at that time also it didn't prick their conscience, Abaji.
You know, this speaks of the system of this country. Let us see how many eyewitnesses have been killed. They've been shot dead outside police stations. They've been shot dead outside courts. You know, there was this case in Mathura where a rape victim was coming to depose and she was shot dead outside the police station, outside the court. So here, these are 5 drunkards, goons, and this girl got scared. Of course, nobody can absolve her from the responsibility. Next day, her name could have been kept anonymous. But this speaks, when we talk of apathy, this speaks of the prevalent system.
No, but my point is, Abaji, she is a mature young girl. She has the right to vote in this country. She has the right to get married. She has the right to own property. She's got all the rights as per as the constitution because she's also a 22, 23-year-old girl. And today, 48 to 72 hours later, she of her own volition has sat in front of the camera and spoken about it. She has done it. So if she has the thought process, if she has the sense to do all of this, you are telling me that when she realized her friend is being killed, she still didn't step up and say these are the brutes and they did it deliberately.
She has come when the police found her. So I said we are talking of rights, but we Indians, we lack that integrity of duties. What are our duties? I think this case should be a line.
I think Nidhi is speaking just now. One of her reactions is coming. I'll play that out and come to you, Nigat Abbas, and then also reactions from Vikram Singh and Ishkaran. Let's just listen in.
ब्रेक देके गाड़ी रुकवाई, गाड़ी रुकवाने के बाद फिर हम गए आगे जाने के बाद हमने क्या करा, वो गाड़ी आ रही थी ब्लैनो कलर की गाड़ी आ रही थी, ब्राउन कलर की ब्लैनो गाड़ी थी। उसने सामने से सामने टक्कर करी हमें, लड़की गाड़ी के नीचे आ गई। लड़की नशे में थी बहुत ज्यादा, लड़की गाड़ी के नीचे आ गई। लड़की बहुत ज्यादा नशे में थी, लड़की गाड़ी के नीचे आ गई। ठीक है, लड़की की गलती है जो लड़की इतने नशे में ड्राइविंग कर रही है। मैंने उसको मना करा कि मत चला, मैं होश में हूँ, मेरे को चलाने दो। उसने मेरे पे विश्वास नहीं करा, उसने अपने आप पे विश्वास करा कि नहीं बहन तू घेर देगी मुझे, मैं चलाऊंगी। मैंने कहा ठीक है।
एक चीज मुझे पूछना है, बोलने दो यार। आप ये बताइए, एक मिनट रुक जाओ। हाँ, आप बताइए फिर क्या हुआ? हाँ, बोलने दो यार। कोई बोलिए, बोलो फिर क्या हुआ?
फिर कुछ नहीं, फिर हम वहाँ से जा रहे थे, आगे से गाड़ी आ रही थी प्लानो है, तो गाड़ी लड़की आगे गिरी, मैं साइड में गिर गई। फिर टक्कर हो गई, वो गाड़ी के नीचे घुस गई।
अच्छा।
हाँ, लड़कों को पता था कि भाईजान उनके नीचे एक लड़की है। लड़कों ने जानबूझ के इस मौत को अंजाम दिया। उनको पता था, लड़की नीचे से चिल्ला रही थी, मैं होपलेस हो गई थी बहुत ज्यादा, इसलिए मैं चली गई। मैंने किसी को डर के मारे नहीं बताया, मैं किसको बताती, मैंने किसी को नहीं बताया। मैं घर पे चली गई डर के मारे। मैं घर पे जाने के बाद मैं बहुत रोई, उसको ब्लैनो गाड़ी 2 बार आगे लेके गई, 2 बार पीछे लेके, फिर आगे लेके, फिर स्पीड में उसे खींचती हुई अपनी उसके नीचे उसके कुछ अटक गया था।
अच्छा।
वो किसी चीज में अटक गई थी नीचे गाड़ी के। अटकने के बाद वो आगे गई, पीछे गई, आगे गई, फिर उसे गाड़ी बिल्कुल आगे घसीट के ले गई। फिर उसे घसीटते घसीटते वो छुट्टी नहीं होगी, उसे घसीटते घसीटते बिल्कुल आगे ले गई।
अच्छा निधि,
इसी दौरान उसकी मौत हो गई।
अच्छा निधि, आपने क्यों नहीं बताया था किसी को?
क्योंकि
वजह क्या
मैं
थी?
बहुत
सवाल ये
ज्यादा
खड़ा
डर
होता है।
गई थी और मैं नहीं चाहती थी कि मेरे घर वालों पे बात आए और कुछ भी बात आए, इसलिए मैं बहुत ज्यादा डर गई।
अच्छा, आप लोगों के बीच में क्या झगड़ा होता?
जानते हैं, उसकी मम्मी जानती है।
अच्छा, आप लोगों के बीच में बात को लेकर क्या था?
झगड़ा ही नहीं हुआ हमारा। मैं कह रही थी मैं ड्राइविंग करूंगी क्योंकि उसमें बहुत ज्यादा नशे में थी।
अच्छा,
निधि एक चीज बताओ जरा, एक चीज बताओ, आपने 4 लड़कों से बात की थी, वो 4 लड़के कौन थे?
नहीं, वो हमने बात नहीं करी थी, वो हमारा पीछा कर रहे थे।
वो पीछा कर रहे थे? कौन? वो बनीन वाले पीछा कर रहे थे आपका?
नहीं, वो ब्लैनो वाले नहीं कर रहे थे, वो जो वो के बाहर खड़े थे, वो हमसे बात कर रहे थे। ऐसे हमारी लड़ाई नहीं हो रही थी, वो हमारी ऐसी चाबी पे बहस हो रही थी। वो कह रही थी मैं ड्राइविंग करूंगी, मैं कह रही थी मैं ड्राइविंग करूंगी।
के कमरे में भी दोनों की लड़ाई हुई आप लोगों
नहीं, वो एक
अच्छा,
ठीक है।
अच्छा ये बताओ निधि, अच्छा निधि एक बात ये बताओ कि वजह क्या थी? कोई बॉयफ्रेंड की बात थी?
हाँ, उनके पर्सनल मैटर था, उनका पर्सनल मैटर था, उसमें मेरे को नहीं पता उनका पर्सनल मैटर था। क्या हुआ उन दोनों के बीच, क्या नहीं हुआ, वो उन दोनों को पता है। मैं बाहर चली गई थी उस
आपने
टाइम
कुछ
पे।
बोला था निधि ने ऐसा?
है, अंजलि ने मुझसे कुछ ऐसा नहीं बोला।
अच्छा,
बस
ठीक है।
कितने सालों से जानते थे? थोड़ा पीछे पीछे भी।
मुझे अंजलि को
तो पीछे मत हो गया, जनता पार्टी हो गया क्या? नहीं
So now there is more. There is more that's been added now, Nigatapas. What's been added by Nidhi now is that Anjali was inebriated. The argument which is captured on CCTV outside, and we'll try and play that part out right outside that hotel. That argument is about who is going to drive. And her argument and what she's saying is she was arguing with her friend because her friend was inebriated, not in a condition to drive. And so she starts the driving line. I pointed this out. But later on, again, it is Anjali who's on the wheel. But what she turns around and says is that this car first moved forward, moved back, moved forward, moved back, and then continued to drag her on. So these brutes knew exactly what they were doing. And then they are trying to play holier than thou, saying, "Hame pata hi nahi tha." And there is somebody who's tried to give them cover fire to water down the FIR. Who's this person?
No, that's completely nonsense that they didn't get to know. Even if I'm not driving, if my driver is driving, somebody else is driving, and even if a paper comes under the tire of the car, I would realize, the driver would realize that there's something, that's the entire body, which is weighing nothing less than 50-55 kgs. But what I see right now, what Nidhi is talking about right now, I think there's more to investigate right now through the police, because this brings in the more information. The channels are more open. I mean, this might be a scene. What I personally feel, this is my personal opinion, that this might be the case that these people know each other before they had met with an accident. They might be in an argument, or they might have had some kind of conversation, because initially we knew that this girl was working in a company, and now what I'm seeing on your channel is that she was in a hotel in some room. So probably these people know each other. They were friends, or I don't know. Maybe.
No, what has been said, Nigat, so far, and I'll tell you, I'm just going to go by what we know so far. What we know is that at 8:30 p.m. at this hotel room, these two girls went and booked a room. They were inside the room. Now what this girl Nidhi has revealed is that the altercation or the shouting that happened was Anjali having some issue with her friend or boyfriend or whatever is being alleged. She says she was out of the room. Then we have CCTV footage which confirms them stepping out at around 1:30 in the night, outside the hotel at 1:17 a.m. They are stepping out. They are about to get to the scooty, where it just looks like Nidhi is telling Anjali, "I will drive," and then they are having an argument about who will drive. Now this is exactly what Nidhi is now saying, that she was the argument, the बहस जो हुई थी, झगड़ा नहीं था, बहस थी कि गाड़ी कौन चलाएगा, and I was telling her, मैं होश में हूं, तू होश में नहीं है, मैं गाड़ी चलाऊंगी. That is also corroborated with the footage. In the footage, actually it is Nidhi who's taking out the scooty eventually, and Anjali is sitting, riding pillion. But half an hour later at 2:05, when that scooty is passing that curb at that CCTV camera, it is Anjali on the wheel. So somewhere half an hour in this distance, somewhere the argument has happened again. And Anjali has said, I am more confident driving this. I don't have confidence in you driving. And this is exactly what Nidhi is saying. But this is where things start changing. When she spoke with News 18 India, she said, ये गाड़ी ने सामने से आके टक्कर मारी, मैं एक तरफ गिर गई और अंजलि उसके साथ ड्रैग होके चली गई. Now she is saying that these boys, they inside the car, they forwarded or they went forward, then they reversed, then they went forward and then they reversed and then they drove off. So they have these people knew that somebody had come under the car, something had, and they tried to run her over. And she also said कि अगर मैं सामने जाती तो मुझे भी कुचल देते.
So Anand, this could also be a possibility that these guys knew this girl and they aggressively on purpose did that. This is nowhere a hit and run case.
See, again in both cases they have said in both times one thing consistent with Nidhi is that she says that we did not know these people and they did not know who we are. But ये सामने से बलिनो आई हमें टक्कर मार दी.
You know, it's hard to digest right now because a girl who's coming after 48 to 72 hours, speaking to the news channels, speaking to the police right now, I can't really know that if she is, revealing the entire facts or not, because she kept quiet for more than 2 days. So that's really horrid. That's horrendous. She needs to come in and speak. Probably the interrogation is needed more. Probably the police needs to investigate the matter because we can't really trust the girl right now because she probably might be in that pressure of the society.
Some other things which are inconsistent.
Family.
Anjali's mother, Vikram Singh ji, says, we don't know who Nidhi is. Nidhi right now says, of course Anjali's mother knows me. Now, the other point is she says, I was so scared. I didn't even tell my own parents. I didn't tell anybody. I was very, very scared. I was hopeless. That's why I went home, but I was very scared. You were scared, but a friend's life went away. That did not matter is a question one would want to keep asking Nidhi. But let's go back to the brutes. The point in question is the inaction of the cops, but more importantly, somebody told the cops or somewhere exerted certain influence, Vikram Singh ji, to water down this FIR. And these brutes knew what they were doing. These brutes.
You said it.
Will you now say that they should be booked for murder? They did it deliberately, sir. Yes, Vikram Singh ji. I think we've just lost Vikram Singh ji. Ishkaran, you had put your hand up earlier. Yes.
Yes. Anand, the only thing consistent in this case is the inconsistencies. The girl now says that the victim on the scooter was also drunk. She does not come out for 2 days. She does not speak. So I don't know how much we can trust her.
No, but this is something which the cops have also said. This is something which the cops have also said that both parties were inebriated. Those on the car and those on the scooter.
Yes. So, as I said, there are 3 parties to this. The people on the scooter, the criminals in the car and the police action. So right now what we have to see is why did the police not act due to multiple calls? Why did the police not book under stringent sections of law? Why did the police not wait for post-mortem because the body had been found without clothes? It could have been a case of sexual assault also. They should have at least waited for the post-mortem. All these questions and why
the post-mortem confirms no sexual assault. Post-mortem report is out.
It does. Now it does. But I'm saying when the initial statements were coming out, they had to wait for that to come to this conclusion. So what was being done? There is a lot of investigation required yet in this matter because a lot of things don't seem to make sense in this case. Girl not speaking for 2 days. The guys in the car not stopping the car even if they had an accident. Now the version is coming, they went forward, they went back, they went forward, they went back. That means they were deliberately trying to murder. Also, why the police didn't act in a stringent manner, applying the most stringent sections of law. So all this needs to come, and that is why I think a special CP of the police has been tasked with investigating the entire matter, supervising the entire matter.
Here is the other thing.
To wait for that.
Here is the other thing. Abha Singh ji put her hand up, and then final comment from Vikram Singh ji. Abha ji, these people have told the cops, हमें पता ही नहीं था because we were drunk. कार के शीशे चढ़े हुए थे और music was high. But if Nidhi's version is that they went forward and backward, reversed also, that means they knew somebody or something is stuck in the car and they tried to lose whatever was stuck in the car and then they did not know for 12 kilometers.
Exactly. I mean, that reversing and forwarding was specially done so that they could get free of the body which had stuck to the car or the corpse of this girl. But Anand, one more thing I would like to say. Everybody's pouncing on this girl who's kept quiet. What was the Me Too movement? Women who had been raped, sexually assaulted, but kept quiet for years because they were scared to go and lodge a complaint. They were scared to tell the family. So you have to keep that in mind, that this girl was scared. She thought, she didn't even tell her parents. She said, first they will scold me that why did you go for a New Year party? Why did you drink or whatever? So, and also tomorrow, maybe these goons would, these boys, these criminals would have come and threatened her. So let us not forget this, that millions of girls in this country have faced rape, have faced sexual assault, but have kept quiet, and that Me Too was all about that. Now coming to the police part, yes, the police cannot be absolved. PCR vans did not reach. You need to suspend them. You need to do an inquiry, but you need to have a further roadmap that if something like this happens, what is the response time of the vehicle? That needs to be set.
See, some can be pushed up, pulled up for negligence. Some can be suspended. You have made a point there that as far as Nidhi is concerned, you can always ask the question that it was, after all, she was your friend. You could have done something more, but you may want to lean towards giving her the benefit of doubt that she was so shocked, she was so scared of the stigma, of the trauma, of whatever was going to follow. But those brutes in the car,
they cannot be.
Those brutes in the car should not have been spared. Vikram Singh ji, how is it that only one person was named in the FIR? Somebody called the cops and said, go easy. Whoever is that person, should that person not be named, shamed and also held to account? Vikram Singh ji, final word.
Absolutely. Multiple lacunae in every stakeholder, everybody who's in the dramatis personae in the whole episode. The police, the friend, and of course those in the car, and of course a skillful investigator, and anybody who has tried to dilute the case and the FIR and the sections needs to be named, shamed, and also be booked under appropriate sections of law, so that he does not replicate his mistake and this misdemeanor ever, and it should be a lesson to one and all.
I thank you all. The Delhi police have a lot of questions to answer. The investigation throws yet another turn as this entire saga unfolds, and with more and more details tumbling out. We'll follow this story very, very closely here at CNN News 18. We're going to take a very short break here on The Right Stand. When we come back, Subramaniam Jaishankar takes the right stand for Bharat, and he calls out Pakistan. He calls out Pakistan as the epicenter of terror, and he does this in Europe while speaking to the Austria ORF. We get you the details. Stay with us.